Have you ever noticed in Magic sets where sometimes the themes and mechanics just don't work? Well, I wanted to talk about the Lost Caverns of Ixalan, and the one theme in the set, which I think by far and away is the worst, the one that just failed the most. And it's kind of a shock because in my mind, the one that failed the most is what the set's named for, caves. It's called the Lost Caverns of Ixalan, but caves were just ultimately a major failure in the set. And I'm speaking primarily here about limited, so we're talking drafts and sealed, but caves just didn't work. Like, they're awful in the set. And there's a couple reasons for this. It's kind of surprising because we've seen success with something like this before. For people who played in the old, Ravnica Allegiance with the gate stacks, there was a thing in there where the more gates you had, like the better your cards were, and there were things that cared about how many gates you had. So we all thought, going into Lost Caverns of Ixalan here, that this would be kind of the same. Why is my hair sticking up? That, again, you'd have caves, and the more caves you had in your deck, the cooler things you could do. And yeah, there's some payoffs in the set, but they just aren't good enough, and it doesn't work out. What are the problems here? Well, there's a couple things. One, there's just not enough fixing in the set. Usually when you play these kind of decks and you're taking all different color lands, which are the caves, to get your cave count up, you need things to fix your mana so you can cast your good cards. The payoffs were in all 5 colors, which meant you needed to play all 5 colors to really get the best value out of your caves. There wasn't just not enough fixing in it to make it work. So fundamentally, there's a lot of caves in the deck that are in the set that are just colorless as well. So the mana in it was just awful, just absolutely awful. And people, you have to realize formats are just faster now. You can't sit around and durdle and try to get your lands down. It's just too fast. Okay, so maybe the best cave payoff card was Calamitous Cave-In? Is that it? Cave-In, right? Now, this is a 4-mana spell, which does damage. It's like an earthquake. Does damage to things equal to the number of caves you have in play, plus the caves in your graveyard, because that's how the caves worked, right? So this is your board sweeper. You're getting your caves out, you're doing cave stuff, and then your opponent gets ahead of you on creatures, and you play this, and you kill other creatures. Well, the format's so fast that you're just not going to have time, and by the time you play this card, you're probably already dead. So it just didn't work out. There's a bunch of cool cards in it. The Batcave thing is pretty cool, but yeah, it's just did people who designed the set even play it? Because the cave thing just doesn't work. You named the set the Lost Caverns of Ixalan, and the cave theme is awful. It's the worst thing in the set. What are you doing? I don't get it. It's a major fail. Worst thing in the set. I don't understand how this happens, but I don't know. Do you agree or disagree? Let me know in the comments. Caves.